Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm just listening to It's Randy's Life before I start here. Push this off a little bit. I was been getting a shower, doing stuff, but I went to come on, talk about the eviction last night and the new HOH today. I'm gonna wait. I know a lot of people are kind of doing their own thing, kind of out and about. Um, so I just wanted to go over today. Uh, Basically, the eviction that was last night and our new HOH and some spoilers that's been coming out of the feeds. Actually, there was a lot of stuff going on yesterday. There was a lot of stuff last night. Believe it or not, after Big Brother was over last night, the live feeds went up exactly after the East Coast was over. So at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the feeds came back on, which I was shocked because normally they wait till, you know, the West Coast is off. So they went live right after, like I said, East Coast time when Big Brother was over and Memphis won the HOH. I was hoping for someone else, but I have to say, I'm watching today on the live feeds, and there's absolutely no indication on who Memphis is going to target, who Memphis is looking to even put up. He did say who his easiest two would be to put up. Um, Not necessarily sure. That would be like, I'm sorry, if Memphis goes with his easy pick, which was what he decided was going to be Ian and Nicole A, he shouldn't be in All Stars. Sorry, he just shouldn't be in All Stars. Um, but what he is trying to do as HOH, and this came through on the live feeds last night, and people are picking up on it, especially everybody in the house, is that Memphis right now is trying to get everybody in the house to use their safety suite thing because he doesn't want anybody using that anymore. So he's telling everyone, I don't know who I'm going to pick, so your best bet is to use the safety suite. Um, a lot of people are not cool with this idea. A lot of people are not happy with this idea. Tyler and Devon have already been talking about this in the house in regards to Memphis trying to get everybody to use their safety suite. Tyler's always like, nope. Memphis tried to get an alliance going with Cody, Tyler, Nicole, Danny, and who was there was another one. Oh, Nicole, Danny, Memphis, Tyler, Cody. There was one other girl who was in it, and I can't remember. Um, Let me see. Let me just bring up the cast because probably if I look at their face, Nicole F. That is not Nicole A. Nicole F. was um, okay. I'm sorry. I'm reading something that just came up about Big Brother on my feed, and I was just reading that. It was a way Julie Chen signed off. Nothing big, nothing anything like that at all. Let's see. So I hear a lot of names being thrown around where people aren't trusting maybe Christmas. People think that she's a threat. I know that Davon and Bailey are working together. They have a final two, but they're trying to figure out who they can work with the best moving forward. Not necessarily sure if they, have anybody set in stone. Not necessarily sure if everybody wants to work with them. We don't even know what's going on. It is the first week. Unfortunately, I was away. I couldn't, I really kind of missed the first week, especially the end of the week. Um, so now that Cody is playing, and Memphis is now the HOH, you got a lot of new people who are forming. A new kind of alliance that is talking is Janelle, Nicole A., and Kevin. They're all staying in a room, so is Ian's in the room with them as well. Um, Now they had a mighty big conversation. I think it was, I don't know if it was last night or this morning, but they had a big conversation amongst Nicole, Kevin, and Janelle. Now, mind you, Ian is sitting in the room. As a matter of fact, he's sleeping in the room. And then Nicole realizes, like, oh my God, we're having this big conversation, and Ian's laying right there. And Nicole's like, I think he's been listening to our conversation from the very beginning. And, they're just like, I don't know, he's asleep. They're not sure, but still don't know if Ian heard any of their conversation. But they're all sleeping in the same room. I'm hoping to see more bigger alliances form, because I'll tell you right now, the whole Cody, Tyler, Memphis, Nicole F, Danny, and Christmas, that's who it is. They're the six. Cody, I'm telling, that's not going to hold anything. Only because already Tyler and Christmas and other people are questioning Memphis's, why isn't he sharing who he wants to put up? Why isn't he doing, or why isn't he sharing? He just wants everybody to use these safety suite pass so nobody can use it again. And thankfully, this is All Stars. People are figuring that out. And unfortunately, if people get too annoyed with Memphis, he will be next on the chopping block. And that's the wonderful thing about Big Brother. Everything changes from day to day to day. Um, the targets change from day to day to day. Everybody always thinks that if you go up, you're not going to be the people who are going to be target. With All Stars, I've never watched an All Star season. This is my first season like I've watched. I did watch and see some of the All Stars from before, but I wasn't real big into the season back then like I am now. Um, Danny Donato Bryan's, who is Evil Dick's daughter, from, I forget what seasons he was in, but I know he was in season 8 as well. Um, she's doing really well. I said this yesterday. I think she has what it takes to win this. She's really been maneuvering the house, but Janelle is also realizing that she thought she had Danny on her side. Danny is no longer on Janelle's side, or even if they were, they weren't. But at least Janelle is realizing it. I think it was a hard pill for her to swallow, to realize that she's not backing her up. And they do see that there's like the new school and the old school. And considering they had one old schooler left, will Memphis do the old school, new school? Will he stick with this alliance? No one really seems to know what he's going to do, because there's so many. There's also like another four alliance, which is Cody, Enzo, Bailey, and Davon. Cody's going to get caught. Cody's got like finals with Nicole, Tyler, Enzo, Memphis, everybody, because he was the first HOH. Everybody wants to have the first HOH on their side, and he's going to get caught. He's going to get caught that he's made all these final twos. People talk. Hey, Red Rum Media, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Nicole F. Let's just say, she's still playing the whining, crying game. Always liked Nicole. Loved Nicole season 16. I liked Nicole season 18. Didn't think she deserved to win. I thought Paul deserved to win. That was my personal thought. Obviously, because she said this many times since she's been in the house, Nicole F., that a lot of people have said to her that Paul got robbed. I would never say that to somebody's face, but I don't know if he got robbed, but the problem with Big Brother is your jury is going to be voting for you. It's not like it's your cast. It's not like it's your cast. I mean, it's not like America who's watching you. Your cast votes you whether you win or not. So you could be a horrible person. They vote for you because they're all sequestered. They have no idea what's going on. They don't hear what's going on in the real world, because sometimes, a lot of things hit pop culture and stuff like that, like TMZ. If somebody says something horrible, somebody does something, that's the first thing that happens. You'll see, the tabloids run with whatever somebody says in the house. All right, so I gotta say, I'm not thrilled with Memphis being HOH. I was really wanted Janelle or Kaser to win. I really, really wanted to see how that would have worked out, especially since they were like kind of targeted in the beginning. Um, but I'm hopeful that Nicole A and Kevin and people will get together and realize that, like, Nicole actually walked in. Nicole A walked in on the 6th, which was um, Memphis, Cody, Tyler, Christmas, Nicole F, and Danny. Nicole A has this information now. She doesn't tell Janelle. She doesn't trust Janelle. Now, I get why you don't trust Janelle. Janelle has kind of a reputation of being a snake. But let's remind you, Janelle has kind of grown up. Janelle is now 40 years old. She's not like this young, uh, horrible person. She wasn't a horrible person. She knew how to play the game. But, she's kind of made out to be like the villain. But I can tell, like, this, she's not the villain this time. And, I'm not really seeing a clear villain yet. Sometimes you always have villains that pop up, but so far I don't see any villains going forward. Enzo, I'm hoping he sees the light as well. Enzo's from the old school. I hope he starts working with Case or Janelle, gets away from that whole Six alliance. Although he wanted so badly to be in alliance with Cody, I hope he gets that out of his head and starts working to help benefit his game rather than Cody's game. I hate when people do that in Big Brother. They kind of follow because they don't know what they're supposed to do. And I guess it's easier said than done when you're sitting here watching it. I'm sure it's a lot harder when you're in the house. But these are all stars. I expect more. Come on. I mean, like I said, I like Janelle. I've always liked Janelle. I've seen some of Janelle's seasons. This is Janelle's fourth time doing this. She's no, she knows this game better than probably anybody else. Um, I'm hoping I want to see Janelle go far. I don't want to see her get kicked out in the first few weeks. I will be annoyed if she goes out in the first few weeks because then it's going to be old school against new school and it's not going to be interesting. It's not going to be fun to watch when you can easily predict what's going to happen. And these all stars should know that. They know what the people want. And come on, let's face it. They are trying to entertain people, but yet they are trying to benefit their own pockets with $500,000. Especially if they didn't win the first time. Like, I kind of hope Devon wins. I really do. I think Devon deserves it. She was kind of a crappy player the first time because she talked too much. She ran her mouth a lot. She realized that when she came back for the second time. But she made it further. Like I said yesterday, she did make it further. And then I'm hoping this time we will see her maybe in the final three. She does have a final two with Bailey. Let's see how that goes. When you got all these people who've been in the house before and know how the house works. I'll tell you the one person, and I think he's a lot smarter than he lets up, is David. And David was from season 21. And Memphis, apparently, now I have no idea, I didn't see it, but I heard about it. So apparently Memphis had to pick the have-nots last week, or last night. He had to pick the have-nots. And apparently, like, when they sat, like, he's like, yeah, David, get your ass up there, or something like that. He said something along the lines, and everyone's like, oh my God, that was so savage what he did to David. But I don't know what the context was. I don't know the reason why he put David up. Maybe because he's acting like he doesn't know what anything is. I'm sorry, when you're playing All Stars and you ask people how to play Veto, that's a problem. You're in All Stars and you're asking them how to play Veto. You should have figured that out. I'm hoping he thinks he's playing dumb. But come on, David, we know you're not this dumb. We've seen you. You beat chess at Ian. You're not a dumb person. Let's see you make some seriously smart moves here. We're praying for you, David. I'd like to see you get to at least final three. I really would. I already said I would like to see Davon win. I wouldn't mind seeing her win. Unfortunately, Keisha went home last night. She didn't do anything really to benefit her game. .com, my first stream I've been on of yours. Thanks, .com. I really appreciate that. Thanks for coming by. Just kind of doing this on the whim today, considering there's not too much to talk about, but there is some to talk about from last night live feeds as well as last night's Big Brother. seeing Keisha leave, seeing Memphis gain uh, HOH, and seeing how everybody is maneuvering. Now, I just checked. The feeds are down, unfortunately, right now. Um, but waiting for them to come back. And Ian's kind of like a wild card, like Nicole A. And that's who Memphis is like, oh, the easy people I could go for is Ian and Nicole. If he takes that route, I hope he gets voted out next week. I really do. He doesn't deserve to be there if he goes for Ian Nicole. I have no respect as an all-star. None. Sorry, Memphis. If you're an all-star, don't go for the easy people. Get the people who are going to be the hardest at the end to get. Like, yeah, but everybody's always afraid that someone's always going to target them, come after them. I find it very frustrating. But I must say, it is an interesting season. I like the All Stars. I really am enjoying some of these people coming back. I would have liked to seen some of the other people come back, such as Derek. Frankie was going to come back, Frankie Grande, but unfortunately he didn't come back because, do you want to go from one quarantine to another quarantine? But we're all going to wind up being quarantined in a couple of weeks anyway. My kids just were told, sorry, no school in the fall. Now, mind you, I think they're doing it month to month here. All good. And I am subbed. I didn't realize till I seen your live. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I just appreciate you coming. I just wanted to kind of put out the Big Brother stuff because I'm really sick of hearing nothing but coronavirus and politics. So this is my way to escape. And if anybody else who's sick of politics and just the hard daily grind of the monotonous Groundhog's Day that we're all living in and gonna be stuck in for probably the rest of 2020, whatever gets you out of a horrible space, go for it, right? I look at Big Brother as something else to take away my mind off of this horrible year. I've always enjoyed Big Brother. I've always liked the idea. Not a big reality star fan. I do like 90 Day Fiance. I've always liked 90 Day Fiance, even though I know that's probably mostly scripted than it is and it isn't. Um, Big Brother is the one thing that's you can tell isn't scripted. It's actually a game. That's another reason why I like it. Don't get me wrong. I think they give each other, or the producers give information to the people constantly in the DR because they probably have their own people that they want to win because America wants them to win. And when America doesn't get the people that they want, people kind of get pissed at the show. I'm a Big Brother fan. I know. I've been pissed at the show. I was pissed at the show last year. Didn't like the show last year. Didn't really like the cast last year. Um, I didn't find it an entertaining. It was probably my least favorite Big Brother. Was Big Brother 21. By far, I loved 16. Always loved 16. Loved all the beginning ones. I've always enjoyed Big Brother. There's bad seasons, there's good seasons. I think this is a good season. I think we have a good season on our hands. I think everybody realizes, like, everybody who's in the house has been quarantined before all this. So I think everybody's just happy to have something to do. And, listening to some of these players in the cast talk, they're just happy to get out of their houses. And I agree. Like, thank you for giving me something else to take my mind off the craziness in the world. Big Brother. I mean, right now, it's how you get through 2020 and how you make it to the end. And I just, you got to find things to help you escape. Big Brother for me is escape. That's why I'm going to do this here. So if you want to escape from the daily crazy and just want to watch something, and you don't have to watch it live, you can watch it later. And all I'm just going to do is be recapping spoilers, recapping the night before or what happened on the show, and bringing you, information on the players as soon as I get them. Now, let me just check. I want to see if the live feeds are back up because we might have. I don't know if it was. They have to play the. Nah. Unfortunately, I think they're playing the fantasy suite. or not the fantasy. Why do I say the fantasy suite? The safety suite. The safety suite. Um, so depending how this safety, hate to ask, Big Brother topic as in Big Brother, the show Big Brother. Uh, I don't know where you're from.com, but a lot of countries have all different Big Brothers. There's Big Brother US, Australia, England, whatever. So Big Brother US just started a week ago. Um, it was crazy because we didn't think anything like that was going to actually happen due to the whole quarantine and stuff. But I guess if you are going to be quarantined, this would be, I guess, this is a good show because you're already quarantined. They figured out how to do this. And at least you can have something normal in your life to watch and something that you can get into that's just not constant crazy. So, like I said, this is just my way of breaking down the daily monotonous and of what's this 2020 is like. But I'm going to keep bringing you stuff. And as soon as I know some information about the safety suite and see who maybe have won, who used it, stuff like that, I'll bring that to you tomorrow and I will keep watching some of these feeds that are going on. Uh, I'll watch all these feeds and I will bring you more information tomorrow. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like if you like it. If not, give it thumbs down too, whatever. Doesn't bother me none. But I hope you enjoy this. If not, I have other lives that I do. I have other stuff that I cover, but during right now, I'm going to cover this because it's a fun thing to cover. I look forward to talking to you guys again, and I will see you all tomorrow.